Welcome back, everyone. As you can see, today's a very special occasion because it's my 10th episode that I'm doing on my channel, which is crazy because I started about a month ago and we've been cranking them out. So, um, I got up in this nice suit and everything, dripped out, but I thought today for my 10th episode I'd go for something kind of big, or at least one of the craziest things I've ever done before in terms of what I'm reviewing today. And I hope you guys enjoy. That's all I can say. So for today's video, I'll be reviewing a plant growth chamber, which is like a big box that you store plants in, and you can customize the controls of how you want these plants to grow. So these machines are very, very useful for closely monitoring and customizing certain factors that you want to control about a plant's growth, including temperature, humidity, air circulation, irrigation, CO2 concentration. I mean, this thing does it all. So this machine, you can customize all of these factors, and you can keep a very close watch on how monitoring one or two of these variables can affect the plant and its growth. So plant growth chambers are very, very good for high throughput screening and breeding also. So explain a little bit what high throughput screening is. It's just basically using machines or automated tools to rapidly test a large number of samples. And then by testing them, you can choose the ones you want and get rid of the ones you don't want. So with plants, these growth chambers are very good at growing the plants quickly. So you can tell at a very early age in the plant's development if the plant has a certain trait or a certain property that you want or that you're targeting. And you can choose to keep these plants and get rid of any of the plants that you don't want because they don't have the specific trait. So the growth chamber is also super useful for breeding plants as well. So you can actually use high throughput screening first when you're trying to do your breeding because you need good parent plants, right? So you can find good possibilities for your parent plants using a growth chamber because then you can identify which plants meet your criteria at an early stage in their growth and then choose to go with these plants for the breeding process. And then after, you cross-pollinate and get the seeds ready, your offspring, you can use these seeds and plant them and have them grow in the actual growth chamber, which is what it's also useful for in breeding as well, because growing them in the growth chamber will provide the best possible temperature and humidity and irrigation, provides the best conditions, and you can monitor them at all possible times. So it provides, as little error room as possible because you can customize all the controls that you want the plant to grow under. So this is just a very helpful tool to make a very complex process a good bit easier. So yeah. All right, guys, enough talking. Let's see this thing in action, baby.
So I did another sneaky sneak to get access to this big old thing. The main cabin of this machine, which is the turquoise section, is about 10 feet tall and 7 feet wide, and it has enough space inside to grow plants that are 3.5 feet tall. The plants are stored in the two main compartment doors in the front, which are firmly kept shut to preserve the exact plant environment inside. For a machine this sophisticated, which can nurture life very precisely, there are many pipes and wires running in and out of it. These three pipes feed water in and out of the system of the machine. The leftmost pipe is feeding a special type of water called DI water into the system. DI water has all of its minerals removed. As a result, there's no risk of these plants getting any unexpected minerals as there would be if normal water was given to them. Additionally, DI water's lack of minerals is useful because minerals can block the parts of the plants that do the photosynthesis, called stomatopores, and also it can interfere with the plant's ability to absorb nutrients from the soil. The two pipes on the right are for transporting cooling water in and out of the system. This cooling water is used to remove excess heat that is generated by the machine from all of the lighting and climate control settings it can do. Once it absorbs the heat, the water exits the machine where it's cooled again before re-entering the machine to do the same thing of cooling the system down. It is super important to keep the environment in the chamber tightly regulated for the plants to grow as planned, and the cooling water is the main regulator for all of this. So the cooling water deserves a round of applause, and it's totally slept on because it gets no love. That little gadget on top is an aspirator fan, which sucks up CO2 from the surrounding environment and feeds it into the machine for the plants to use for photosynthesis. This fire hydrant looking thing under the machine is a refrigerant tank, which is used to store and release the refrigerant mixture that is used in the cooling water, which is used to absorb excess heat in the chamber created by the lighting and climate control system. These goofy looking pipes are used to allow fresh air to enter the chamber. More specifically, they're important in regulating how much carbon dioxide can enter the system, as well as how much oxygen can leave the system, based on the specific growth conditions of the plants inside. This panel has some small but mighty components on it. The purple rocks in that cylinder that look like purple meth is actually a compressed air filter that is used to clean and purify the compressed air before it goes into the chamber to interact with the plants. The middle gadget looks really familiar because it's just a thermometer, and it allows us to see the temperature of the surroundings of the chamber. Finally, the pad on the right is used to modify other auxiliary settings of the system from outside the chamber, as you can see from the various buttons and outlets surrounding it. Alright, now to the part that you all have been waiting for, opening the chamber. I did not film opening the chamber because there are some very, very bright fluorescent lights that are going on in there, and having your bare eyes exposed to them can be very harmful. And I also did not want to interrupt an ongoing experiment going on. However, I did come back and finesse some pics of the chamber inside. And what I got was some fluorescent lights. This chamber uses very, very bright fluorescent lights because fluorescent lights are capable of emitting a large range of wavelengths, which is key when you need to customize light settings and you need a very specific brightness and color for the light that you want to grow your plants under. This chamber can also use high pressure sodium lights and metal halide lights, and both of them are used to promote growth in plants as well as things like flowering and fruiting in plants. They also make some very cool colors, which is why everyone likes them and sleeps on the cooling water. Finally, the last part I'm covering, and one of the most important parts in the entire chamber, is the portable aspirator. And this is a fan that creates airflow in the chamber to help regulate carbon dioxide and oxygen concentrations, because as plants do photosynthesis, the ratio between carbon dioxide and oxygen becomes imbalanced. Typically, this fan is placed in the regions of the chamber where a carbon dioxide deficit is most likely, such as right next to a dense region of plants. Therefore, this fan is the key to maintaining equilibrium in the chamber so the plants have enough CO2 to go about doing photosynthesis and to grow properly.
Hope you guys enjoyed my 10th video. Hopefully I'll be making many, many more of these, and this channel keeps growing and we all have a good time. So have a good one, guys.